PharmOst is a clinical stage company developing targeted cancer therapeutics for humans and also animals. PAA's lead drug candidate, Monapantal, has been evaluated in phase 1 clinical trials, and as the drug advances towards phase 2, the Chief Scientific Officer, Dr. Richard Molland's found time to come and join us here on Ticker to talk about it. Thank you so much for your time.
Hello, Aaron. Thanks for having us on the program.
Oh, absolutely. Great to have you here. Talk to us about PharmOst and what you actually do.
Okay, so PharmOst became a healthcare company in 2003 when it acquired Epichem, a fine and medicinal chemistry manufacturer. Then in 2013, PharmOst also acquired Pitney Pharmaceuticals, which gave PharmOst the right to develop Monapantal for cancer therapeutics in dogs and humans. And since this time, we've also discovered that Monapantal and its analog pipeline that PharmOst owns the rights to as well may have activity as a COVID-19 therapeutic. Wow. So Epichem and Pitney have a little bit different business strategies, but they work together to deliver outcomes in these fields for PharmOst.
Yeah, now just going into Monapantal, I want to get a bit of detail about that. You mentioned the humans and the animals, and you also mentioned its ability to help with fighting COVID-19 as well. How does it work? What's it actually targeted at? What was the initial reason for it coming to be?
Oh, okay. So originally, Novartis Animal Health developed it as a wormicide for livestock, sheep, so they're for human consumption. And it was found to specifically target a set of receptors in these worms that infect sheep.
Wow.
And these receptors are not present in sheep, they're not present in worms that infect humans, and they're not present in humans. But sometimes drugs have off-target activity. And PharmOst actually found that it also targets the mTOR pathway in mammals. So mTOR is a major regulator of growth of cells, and it's what cancer cells use for their uncontrolled growth. Nature's also found a way for viruses to kind of hijack this machinery,
right,
and they use the mTOR pathway for replication and completion of their life cycle in some cases. So this means, looking at Monapantal, PharmOst has potential therapeutic for both cancer and antiviruses at the same time.
Really interesting. There are obviously thousands of other technologies to try and help with cancer, and now with COVID-19, it feels like every day we're hearing about another potential saviour for us during such a difficult time at the moment. What is it that what you're doing, I guess, is different to that? Talk to us about the technology, also in terms of the molecule offer. How does it give that advantage over so many other technologies out there at the moment?
Well, I think the major advantage is the stage of development for a new therapeutic. So originally, Novartis Animal Health, to register it as a wormicide, had to undergo extensive testing, and this is for safety in a number of animals. It's been accepted in over 30 jurisdictions all over the world. A lot is known about its metabolism, how it's eliminated from the body, what doses to give to get a relevant amount of drug circulating in the body. And as you mentioned earlier, PharmOst has already taken Monapantal into phase 1 clinical trials in humans with cancer.
Yeah.
So we know that actually giving this drug to human patients inhibits the mTOR pathway. So we're really ahead of the game in many ways with respect to a lot of other companies in respect to safety and knowledge of mechanism of action in humans.
And talk to us about the investigations you've done into Monapantal's effects on SARS-CoV-2 this month as well. What did you find out of it? What did they demonstrate?
Well, this has been really quite interesting. So they're all preliminary experiments in vitro, but if you take cells in culture and infect them with the coronavirus, COVID-19 virus, and then treat with Monapantal, you find that there's a large reduction in the amount of virus present in the tissue culture media. So this means it's either inhibiting replication, helping degradation, or stopping release from the cell. But then more importantly, the researchers have taken this media or the liquid surrounding the cells where all these viruses should be sitting and used it for secondary infection.
Right.
And in these experiments, they found that monopantal inhibited the secondary infection compared to controls by about 95%, which is a very good outcome for this molecule.
Now, I've never met a scientist who gets overly excited at this stage, but how excited are you?
Well, yes, as a scientist, we're looking at the data and we think it's fantastic and very encouraging, and we're very happy that it's all going in the right direction. But the proof of the pudding, of course, is in humans. So let's hope that we can get to that stage and wait to see what happens then as well.
Well, what happens over the next few months? What does, I guess, the next couple of months have in store for Pharma Australia?
Well, there are two things really. So to carry on from the discussion of the coronavirus work, we will do a little bit more preclinical work and prepare an executive summary and investigators brochure to take to clinicians who may like to test in patients with coronavirus in a phase 1 trial. And secondly, we'll also be preparing and finalising a detailed report on the recently completed phase 2 trial in pet owners' dogs with cancer. This is B-cell lymphoma, where we had quite a good deal of success and showed a 60% regression in tumour burden in a dog quite quickly in 14 days, and one tumour actually regressing to go back to the normal lymph size. So this was a very good outcome for Pharmos as well, and this will guide us on our next steps in dogs and humans.
Well, congratulations. Sounds like there's a lot of good work happening at such a difficult time for humanity right now. Dr. Richard Mollard, thanks so much.
Thank you very much, Aaron.